Start down. One more thing. Okay, since I'm not going to hit balls today, I will just sort of go through and I'll just answer your questions as we go, but sort of tell you a little bit how I tried to play golf through the years, okay? And when I try to play golf, I try to make it as simple as I possibly can make it. And what I mean by that is I try to take as many of the elements that happen within your body that are natural and try to apply them to golf. Meaning, if I'm going to stand here and talk to somebody, I'm going to try to stand here, which I have a hard time doing anymore, with weight on both of my feet, on my toes, on my heels, and we're not, try to have my body relaxed, and my shoulders, arms relaxed. I take the grip of the club, I just take my hands out like this, put them together, spread them, and close them. So, in other words, I'm not trying that partially on it. And so now I don't think it makes a whole lot of difference whether you use an interlocking grip, an overlapping grip, or a baseball grip. It's all still the same basic thing. It's how you link your hands together. So, in my case, it was an interlocking grip, and I don't know whether I had it. 95% of people play with an overlapping grip. The Tiger plays with an interlocking grip. I don't know where he got it. Huh? Who? Tiger who? I don't know his last name. Anyway, so I try to do that. Then I say, okay, so holding on the golf club. The first thing you want to teach somebody when they start to play golf is how do you hold on to the golf club. So if you hold on to the golf club properly, the hands are there. Now if you want to look at your left hand, you take the V, that should go right up over your right shoulder, and this V here should go right up over your right shoulder. That's where you want those to go. Okay? You want the grip in your left hand. A lot of people grip it down here. I grip it across diagonally across my palm. I always feel like that's what's going to be hitting the back of the shot. Okay? Now, if I'm going to hit somebody with the back of my hand, am I going to flick them with my fingers? If I want to make their attention, I hit them with the solid part of my hand, right? So I want the golf club sitting right behind the most solid part of my hand. If I'm going to throw a ball, conversely, if I'm going to throw a ball, I don't put it in the palm of my hand. I'm going to put it in my fingers so I can get as much spring as I can. So that's where I'm going to get the spring right here. So I want it basically behind the palm of my hand on my left hand and the fingers of my right hand. Right there. If you can grip the club like that, you've got a chance of being taught how to play the game. I mean, it's very difficult to teach somebody and say, okay, pro, what do you think I'm doing wrong? And you don't have any place to start. So you've got to start out with the basic fundamental how to hold on. Okay. Secondly, second thing I try to do is posture. Now, when I stand up to the ball, I want to stand up with a stance that I'm firmly planted, okay? Now, that means that I want that when you're playing any sport, you play what they call from the ready position. When you're playing here and you're playing a sport, you have the ability to move whatever you want to do, okay? Now, every sport that you play is played inside your feet. The minute somebody gets you outside your feet, you're off balance, and they're going to beat you, okay? Golf is no different. So you play the game inside your feet. So you play from the ready position, okay? Now, if you're in that position, you then say, okay, well, how are my legs? What's my body? Well, I always feel like I never have my legs down here. I never have my legs up here. My legs just relaxed. Just sort of the ability to be able to move. Nice, relaxed position to be able to feel like you're light on your feet, okay? Next thing is, well, I want to stand up straight. Well, I'm sure I'm standing up straight if I'm going to play baseball or something. I'm talk down here. But if I'm going to do that, I just stand up here. I want to bend slightly from the waist with a relaxed legs, and wherever the club hits the ground is about where I want to have the ball away from me. I want my arms hanging down underneath me, club hooked on in that position there. Now, you see how wide should your stance be? Well, I think the stance and the length of the club have a direct correlation. And if you want to play I think you always should be stable on your feet, but you should also be mobile on your feet. Okay? Now, if you're stable on your feet, if I've got a wedge in my hand, which I have here, I'm very stable. That ball is still off my left heel. Sure, it's pretty close to my right foot, but it's still off my left heel. As my stance widens, the club gets longer, all I do is move further away this way. All I do is that. That way I can aim the same way every time, straight down the line, and all I do is put the ball in a different place in my stance. So that way I have one aim and one aim only. Now, I base it, why do you say best inside your left heel? Well, if you swing the golf club, and you think of the club face as square to start, okay? Now, as you turn your body, what happens to the club face? It opens up, right, to the target. Now, I want to keep myself in what I call the address position throughout the swing. And that's the club shaft pointing inside my arms. So the shaft is pointing up this way, it's inside my arms. I want to keep it that way throughout the swing. I come here, I turn around, drop the club, it's still in that address position. If I would take back, okay, Gail, to get there, I get up here, if I took that back around and dropped it, it's still in the address position. And the same thing at the finish of the swing, still in the address position. So you always want to have the club under control. You see people, you see them go like this. Now immediately, as soon as that golf club starts pointing outside your arms, your club is no longer under control or stable. So as soon as it gets out here, now it's off balance. So one thing you're going to have to do to get it back on balance is you're going to have to go out of balance the other way to do it. If you do that, then you say, okay, then you're getting your chance of you being consistent is far less. So you try to think of how can I keep my club inside my hands here, inside my arms here. Most of you have never thought of that. That actually works. Okay? Now, the other thing, I missed the thing I was starting with. The other thing is the club face starts square and opens up as it goes back to the target. Now, there's going to be a certain place in that swing where that club goes open here and it's going to go close to the target here. There's going to be a certain place in that swing where the club comes back to square. And as your weight is transferring and moving your left side, for most people, that's going to fall about off your left heel and just inside your left heel. That's why you put the ball in that one spot. Now, if you do that, then the other element that I use, and I try to say is, the other thing in the swing that is most important, probably most important of all, after the grip, is your head position. The good Lord forced me to put your head in the middle of your body. Try to leave it there. What I mean by that is you don't want it back over here, you don't want it back over here, you don't want it down here. Try to, if you keep your head in pretty much a still position, and feel like you have a shaft coming down through your head, right down through your body, you want to feel like your upper body just rotates like this. And so if you can take this swing, your body, as you bend over from the waist to the club hits the ground, you can turn on that position there, and turn back in that position there. Then your body's rotating, your head remains still. You can do all these elements. Everything I've done here is in my books. And everything I've done here, you can do without ever hitting the golf ball. If you do, and then those are fundamentals. You take those and say, okay, just go practice them and fiddle with them a little bit. You can learn those basic fundamentals, which will take you to the next level of your golf game before you ever hit a golf ball. Because they're just pure fundamentals. Well, that's it, guys. See you later. But anyway, that's sort of what I try to do. Now, if I want to play, let's see here. Whether I can or not, I'll try. I won't hit very hard. If I try to take a shot where I've got a 7-iron right here, I try to take pretty much a square stance through all my swings, put the ball just inside my left heel. I take a slight rotation, let the club head go. Now, if I want to play, a slice or fade, what do I do? What do you think happens when you play a fade? Face is open, right? I mean, they're cutting the ball, right? Now, you can cut the ball by taking this way, or you can just take your normal golf swing. You open the club face like that, have a normal golf swing. You just aim to the left because the ball's going to fade. Then just take a normal golf swing. The ball should fade. Even that little ball there had a slight fade on it. Okay? And when I do that, you got to remember that if I've got a 7-iron shot to the green, and I'm going to open the club face, I'm not putting loft on the club, so maybe I'm basically making I'm taking play with a 6-iron because I'm putting 7-iron loft on it. Does that make sense? In the opposite, if I'm going to close the club face, I'm going to play a 7-iron distance, so I'll take an 8-iron and close the face because I'm putting 7-iron loft by closing the face. So if I want to hit a little hook, all I do is just grip it right there with a closed club face, aim a little to the right of the target, just aim to the right. Everything's exactly the same, swing's exactly the same. The ball hooks. Can't help to do it. Ball went further because I took loft off the club. Golf is really just common sense. I mean, if you think about it, it really is. I mean, I get all this modern day golf where people say, well, you've got to get in this position, you've got to get in this position, you've got to do this, you've got to do this, you've got to do this. It's so ridiculous. This is what you play golf with right here. That's the only thing you play golf with. So if you could, I don't care, everybody, you put every single one of you stand up, you all look different hitting a golf ball. Is that correct? You all have your own individual characteristics. Your body's different, your build's different, your athleticism is different. Everybody's different. So why do you want to try to be in this position? You can't be in that position. Only the person who puts it in that position can be that position. You can have a tendency to be different places. But basically, the whole idea is to be able to take the club head, have the basic fundamentals, take the club back here, apply the club back to the ball in a square position, should produce a fairly square shot. And that's all we're trying to do. Stay right there, be stable. Best 7-iron I've hit this month.
Ya me gané la cena.
Okay, now, if I want to hit a high shot or a low shot. Now, how would you suspect, without changing my swing, I hit a high shot? Well, let's have some interaction here. How would anybody suspect I would do that?
Move the ball up.
Huh?
Move the ball up in your stance.
Move the ball up in my stance? Okay, what else would I do?
More speed.
No, not necessarily.
In the club face.
Huh?
Keeping your weight on your right feet.
Pardon me? Ball position more in front. Okay, that means you hit more in the upswing. And I add loft to the club. Now, remember the common sense. Remember? What did I say? We're going to come back square, and then we're going to go slightly close. So if I open the club face, then all I do is come to square later, right? And I hit slightly on the upswing. So that's how I would hit the ball in the air. If I want to hit the ball more in the air, take my normal stance, I just move back, open the club face. Now we're probably going to use this downwind, so the wind is probably going to compensate for the loft that I put on the club. I just take a normal swing, the ball goes up in the air more. Okay? Now, what do you think to hit it lower? Can you guess on that? She can guess.
Close the club face.
I'll close the club face and move it back in my stance and come to square earlier. Just that simple. Okay? Here we are with the normal stance. I close the club face, that's going to hit it left. But if I move it back here, now I'm just going to come to square earlier. The ball goes lower. You know, you don't have to hit the ball hard or full shot every time to learn this. You can do what I'm doing right here. Just fiddle around with the club to start to see what the tendencies are to allow you to be able to do what you want to do. And that's how you play golf. Now, the other thing that I do hit the ball low is different. And when you're playing into the wind, and you get a lot of wind out here. This is pretty calm day today. It's actually a gorgeous day. What generally happens hitting into the wind? What happens to the ball? It has a tendency to rise up, right? Or has a tendency, if you start to slice it, what does it do? It slices more. If you slice to hook, it hooks more. Why? What causes that? Spin. Okay? Now, would it make sense to you if I put less spin on the ball would not curve as much?
Yes.
Okay? So many times when I'm playing into the wind, or crosswind sometimes, instead of taking one more club, I'll take 2 or 3 more clubs. So a lot of times if I'm, let's just say 40 yards, for me is just a nice 8-iron. My clubs are different than most people's. They've changed the loft on clubs. Most people, it's a 9-iron now. But for me, it's an 8-iron. Now, if I've got a nice wind in my face, I'd normally just play, if it's just a wind like this, I'd probably just play a 7-iron. But if the wind got stronger, I might go to a 6 or a 5-iron. And what I would do, the shorter you make the shaft, with less loft, the less spin you're going to get. Oh yeah, spin. So a lot of times I'm 140 yards. I don't take a 7-iron. I'll take maybe a 5 or 6-iron. And I'll just hit a shot. What I do is I'll go down here. Let's see what I got. Here's a 5-iron.
Do you need the caddy?
Do I need a caddy? No, I don't need a caddy. But I play a lot of shots. Well, I come right down here on the shaft right here. Into the wind. Normal stance, normal position, square face. Don't do anything different. Just do that. And the ball gets straight because it doesn't spin. And into the wind, that is the most valuable shot I have. Into the wind. You go play in St. Andrews, or you play in Scotland, you play in Florida, you play here in Cancun. You have wind. You need to be able to play that shot. You need to be able to take a spin off it. The harder you hit it, with more loft you use, the more the ball is going to go offline. I think most of the women probably don't have as much trouble in the wind as men do, because they don't hit the ball as hard. You don't hit the ball as hard, it doesn't curve as much. Just that simple. Okay? So, let's see. I've probably worn out everything I need to tell you. Let's see. Some things I can't do for you. Let's see. What else do you want to talk about?
The driver, please.
Driver, please. You want to talk about driver? It's right there in my bag. Anyway, here we are. 5-iron. Big 5-iron shot. Rotate. Not bad for no shoulder. And that didn't hurt.
What about chip shots around the green, Jack?
Okay, I'll get to that. I'm going to this gentleman on the driver. Okay. What have I got for a driver? Let's see. I own one. Doesn't get used much. Okay, now. What do you want to know about driver? Oh, you do the same thing with this you do with everything else. All you do right here, got the ball stance the same, a little wider because a longer club, ball's off the left heel. Everything else stays the same. You just sort of take the club back, hit it through it. See? There's a driver, see? You can do better than that, can't you? Okay, now why didn't that shot produce properly? Why was that shot? Why did that shot do that? Now I tried to do something that I couldn't do. I didn't use the club. I tried to muscle the thing with my body without using the arm that I can't use. So I never got to it. So now this time I'll let the club do the work. And the harder you move your body, the faster you move it, the worse it is. The more quiet the body is, better result. The more you use the club, then you get a result.
That's perfect.
You beat that? Huh? I bet that was 180 yards. Pretty good.
For one shoulder.
Well, what I did was use the club. Now, there's something, if you look at my bag, you'll notice that everything in there has got my name on it. There's a reason for that. But there's more than one reason. One reason, obviously, that I own the company. But two, the biggest reason is that they all work. Now, if you go on tour and go look at guys' golf bags, I don't care what company they are, they'll probably have 9 or 10 clubs, whatever they have, with one make, and they'll have a few specialty clubs. Well, I'm very proud that I played my last 10 years and all with 14 Nicklaus golf clubs. And I've been that way for a long, long time. And the reason why we can do that is because we make a nice product, like commercial. And I'll tell you something we're doing right now, which is kind of interesting. How many of you people have been to a fitting center? Not very many of you, right? Did it help you? Help you? Huh? Those who went? Did help you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We have a fitting center. That's a Bears Club. It's just an experiment. Our pro there, named Eric Bayou, decided that he wanted to do a fitting center and do it for the members. And what he's done is he has, you come out and you hit the ball and they check the ball speed, your club head speed, the launch angle, all the things that have to make your ball go faster. You're worried about your driver? It's probably your driver, not you. You hit your other clubs?
Not really.
You need help. Anyways, anyway, he started working on it, and I said, the members have absolutely just love it. And I said, well, what clubs are you offering? I said, I'm only offering Nicklaus. I said, why wouldn't you offer all the other brands too? Maybe they want. They said, they've never asked for it. All they're interested in is hitting the golf ball better. So we've used all your components, and they like it, so they've never had a complaint. That's interesting. So I said, okay. I said, well, here's where I come from. I said, now, let me ask you a place. Now, if you would come down here, you travel, where are you from? Give me a couple of cities you're from. Chicago, Toronto, Milwaukee, okay.
Buenos Aires.
Buenos Aires, okay. Now let me ask you this question. Now, if you take your golf clubs with you?
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Why?
Play.
Okay, what does it cost you to bring them?
I don't know. It was free for me. It was free for me.
They're free for you. But most people, it costs you to take it's an extra bag, right?
Yeah.
It costs you, what, 30, 40 bucks? 45? 25, okay. You travel, what does a set of golf clubs cost? $1,000? Okay. Well, let's just say you travel 10 times a year. That's $250 for your travel with your golf clubs. Well, I said, Eric's fitting center has been so successful with the fitting center. I said, can we? He said, basically, how many SKUs do you need? And he said, probably 4 drivers and maybe a couple of irons. And he says, and the shafts. I said, okay. So now let me ask you this question. What if, and now let's just say a person plays in Florida, plays in Cancun, plays in Ohio, plays in Toronto, plays in Buenos Aires, and we develop a system where we develop a connector that is on the golf. He says, mostly all we ever do with the golf club is bend it to get it to where we want it. To get it the right weight and the length, you find what shaft, that's pretty easy to find. Then to maximize it, we just bend it. So I said, well, can we design it to where we have a connector between the shaft and here that we can bend, and then the connector wears out and you throw it away. And then basically all your specs are all on file. And so we developed the system for most every place in the country. That's what he wants to do. And you just go there, you say, okay, I'm going to call ahead of time. I'll tell you where this came from. It came from China, actually. But you call ahead of time, they just send you, your specs are there, and they make your golf clubs. And you don't need to carry golf clubs. Yeah. It's a good deal for the club here. They make a few bucks for making your set of golf clubs for you when you get there. You give it back to them when you leave. They make it for somebody else when they get there, and you just keep using the same stuff. Maybe not as good for the manufacturer because he didn't sell many golf clubs. But it's okay. I'll tell you what this came about. We're talking about, we started out in Japan, for instance. About 60% of the people in Japan that play golf don't ever see a golf course. They play at a driving range or social club or whatever it might be. Well, they're starting to play golf in China. And the game is going to be very big. Right now there's about 400 courses in China. The number of golfers they have, they need about 1,200 courses. So they're way short on the number of golf courses. Well, but how many of those people are ever going to get out of Beijing or Shanghai or whatever it is? And they're going to develop these social clubs. And they're going to play virtual golf. You probably been to places to play this virtual golf in these different places. Well, how would you like to go on to be a member of the club? And you go to 10 cities a year. Each one of these cities has got one of these places. You can go do that, but you just call ahead and give them your email and your golf clubs. They make your golf clubs up for you. Never have to travel with them. Same golf, same weight, same thing. Probably feel a little different, but not close enough. Yeah, I think that'd be a pretty good deal. I think they won't clutter up the airlines with all the golf clubs. We'll get them broken. We'll get them lost.
I didn't know that before. And my driver is a golden bird, and my golf club bag is a golden bird.
Old golden bird club?
Yeah.
That's really old. Probably 25, 30 years?
No, not so much.
Not that old?
No.
Okay. Oh, no, we make it, honestly. Yeah. The old, we used to make it one of these old like that. Anyway, we thought it was a pretty good idea, so we would maybe make an 8-degree driver, a 10-degree driver, and a 12-degree driver. Maybe make 4 or 5 shafts, a connector to bend whatever you need to do. Get the weights so the club, so you wouldn't get the spin. And you can basically travel without carrying your clubs. But this guy was obviously just the start of it. But I think it's kind of interesting. I was the first new idea that I found that I thought made some common sense for the traveler, people playing golf. You can come here and just say, Tom Smith coming here, I'm going to be here. My golf clubs have them set for me on the tee. Charge you 30, 40 bucks for making your golf clubs, and now you're got it. Huh?
You pay that for rentals anyways. You pay that much for rentals anyways.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what you're going to do anyway.
Yeah.
Yes, you may as well have them work for you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay, let's see. Now, letting the golf club work for you. All we do is let the club head do the work.
All right.
There you go. And you notice I haven't hit a crooked shot yet. You know why? I haven't hit it hard enough to make it crooked. Anyway, now, you asked me a little bit about short shots. Now, I do exactly the same thing with short shots. I take a basic shot. Let's just say now, most people play a pitch shot with an open stance. The reason you probably play with an open stance is so you can actually feel like, you want to hit a pitch shot, you want to feel like putting a shot on a platter. Like you hold a platter, you just sort of, to stand here square like this is hard to get around to do that. So you just open up slightly. That allows you to do that. Now, I play square face. And all I do is I try to make sure that the club does exactly the same thing that the driver or the irons do. I let the club head do the work. But first of all, you've got to find out what kind of a golf club you have. The most important thing to pitching on a golf course or a sand shot is to have the proper golf club. If you go in the shop and go find a golf club or in a store, wherever you're going to buy a golf club, you want to find a sand wedge. It'll be sitting there. If you want to see it sitting there, I do not like a rounded bottom. Rounded bottom just distorts what you want to do. I like to have it fairly flat, but an angle of the leading edge is about 1/4 of an inch above the back of the flange. Okay? Now what that means is because the leading edge should never ever hit the ground in the shot. The only thing that ever hits the ground is the flange of the club, and it bounces. So it doesn't matter what kind of lie you have. If you hit the shot, then you come back and play the shot. You want to return so that the club is sitting on the shelf. That's how you want to hit a pitch shot. You don't want to hit a pitch shot this way. That gets the club in the ground. Now, sure, maybe you're down in a hole. You might hit back, and you want to hit the ball first, then you might want to go like something like that. But basically, you're going to try almost every shot where you're going to try to return it to the zone the club is sitting on the shelf. And you play 3 shots I play. 1, square club. Now I hit 2-3 inches behind that. It didn't make any difference. Because that never gets in the ground to stop the shot. This is the only thing that gets the ground. Now, if I want to make it run, all I do is square up a little bit more. A little bit square stance, ball's back just a touch. I still use the flange, it still makes me hit the same way. The ball just goes lower. If I want to hit it higher, all I do is I still have the flange, and I aim at the face at the target. I guess as much as I want to put it up in the air, as much as I want to move around in open stance. Because more I'm around here, now I'm actually feel like I'm aiming over here, but I want to hit it over here, because the face is going over there. See? So I have the face over here, and here. I still take exactly the same swing. The ball goes underneath. Ooh, that had pretty good spin on it, didn't it? How about that? Hit a little harder, up in the air. Up in the air a little bit. That's how you stop it. Now, when you play a sand shot, it depends if you're playing soft sand, you want to open the club face more because you want it to bounce more. You don't want to dig down in the sand. If you're playing hard sand, you can't open it as much because then you won't get the flange underneath it. Skip. So it's basically, but most sand is soft enough. You just sit here and play a sand shot. There's some sand. Put it under there. Just basically hit right there, take the whole area out from underneath it. The ball goes up in the air. Think that's tough? Yes. Not if you figure out what the club's supposed to do and what it's designed to do. It was designed to do that. It was designed to just slip right underneath. You just hit the ground underneath there. It goes right underneath. And it bounced a little more than it should. Wasn't much sand there.